Okay, screw it! I don't care about the October DLC. MatPat made his theory, so can I! Okay, calm down, Ultra Gamer. Calm down. Okay, before we start, I'd like to give a big thanks to Markiplier for playing the game because, as many of you may know, I'm too much of a wussy to get past Night 2. So, FNaF 4. Scott has surprised us all again by releasing this game early, and this is definitely the most terrifying game yet. You done goofed up my whole schedule, Scott. Okay, on to the theory. First things first, on the subject of Fredbear, him and Golden Freddy are two entirely different animatronics based on the color of their hats and bow ties. I don't have a bow tie. You get the point. Next, we must learn when this game takes place. Simply put, 1993 and 2023, right after the events of FNaF 1 and 3. Now I know what you're thinking, the Bite of 87. Well, if the kid is the Bite of 87 victim, this game would be impossible from a scientific standpoint. I'll leave a link to MatPat's theory for a more in-depth scientific look at this. But he's not the victim of the Bite of 87. I'll explain later. Next question. Who are you in this game? Well, we all remember Real Person McLastname from FNaF 3, right? Or should I say, Real Person Schmidt? Yes. I know this sounds like some crazy piece of fanfiction found in the darkest corners of Reddit, but what if Mike Schmidt is the older brother of the protagonist, and the protagonists from FNaF 3 and 4 are one and the same? What if this game is him reliving the nightmares he had as a kid? Now, I have a few pieces of evidence to support this. For one, we have Plushtrap. It's not the character that supports this because, well, we do find a kid who has a Spring Bonnie toy, probably passed down to them from their parents, who were most likely alive during the days of Fredbear's family diner. But no, it's the name, Plushtrap. Now, Real Person Schmidt, okay, we need a better name. Bob Schmidt. Bob Schmidt is the only character who knows of the name Springtrap. So what about his nightmares? Well, you see, the Atari-style minigames actually happened. We're just not seeing exactly what happened. We're seeing these through the eyes of Bob Schmidt when he was a kid. Now, he's just reliving these nightmares. Exactly. Now, the nightmares where he's constantly running back and forth between doors, clicking lights in the closet. It's simple. He had nightmares about that. Those were the actual nightmares that didn't happen. Now, as for when in 1993 this happened, you see, Mike just got fired. Now, when exactly does this take place? Now, how can I prove this takes place after Mike gets fired? Well, Mike's paycheck states November in 1993. Now, based on the windows in the right hall, we can tell that very little sunlight comes out from them. This most likely means the game takes place in the last quarter of the year. You know, October, November, and December. Now, what about the Purple Man during the Night 2 minigame? Well, you see, Mike told Bob all about his experience during his week at Freddy's. But why? Mike wanted his brother to suffer the way he suffered. He didn't want to go through this alone. Now, since Mike had no idea what the puppet was, he had no idea that the puppet would have stuffed the kids in the suits. Had there been any murders? Still no murders. Now, first theory, if you don't know yet. Anyway, I can guarantee you, from personal experience, I can tell you that fear can make you see things that aren't really there. Trust me, I suffer from aphibophobia, which is the fear of bees. Don't know why they call it that. Anyway, so it seems Bob has developed some form of schizophrenia. You see, the restaurant was on its last legs, and after Mike got fired, they brought back Fredbear. Now, Bob hallucinated the bite of 93. Also, everyone says that he died at the end of night 6, because they say you can hear him going flatlining, while his brother is apologizing for what he's done. Now, trust me, Mike does apologize after seeing how much he's truly traumatized his brother. But, if Bob did die after night 6, how would the 7th, 8th, and the supposed 9th night even exist? But, then again, why would he work at Fazbear's Fright if these characters traumatized him so much? Well, the Fredbear plushie said he would rebuild him. He must have thought this meant that the Fazbear franchise would give him back the part of his sanity he lost. However, we all know how that worked out. Anyway, the restaurant was shut down after Bob had a nervous breakdown. 30 years later, in 2023, Bob, at the age of, let's say, 37 to 39, went to work at Fazbear's Fright and learned of the stories of the other night guards and learns of the puppet and the springlock suits. And this is how he has the nightmares in the 3rd game. How he's taking all this new information and compiling them into new night terrors. Now, we all know this only destroyed his mind more. After the attraction burns down, he continues to relive the nightmares that he used to have with all this new information, and they become even more terrifying. And, like I said, the Atari minigames are how he remembers the events that happened in real life, but how he remembered them. And so ends the story of Bob Schmidt. Or does it? Trust me, friends, this is far from the end. But as we all know, some things are best left forgotten. For now.